you talked a little bit about Hasty and even a little bit about Ty Davis Price, but there's a lot of running backs on this team, and they got to figure out at least one to cut. It's going to get interesting. So, running back splits today. Who was getting the most looks? Who looked the best? Maybe who needs some improvement? How did you see the running backs playing out today?
Well, let's go through it. Let me go through my notes. It was a quick practice, so I'll give you every rep. And again, there's no tackling, so I'm not saying like how many yards they gained. I can tell you what direction they went and in what order they got the ball. So first play of practice was a handoff to Mitchell, who looks bigger.
Okay. Really?
He said
okay.
he was coming back bigger. He's big. He looks 215. He looks like a guy who might be able to make it through a full season, which is big because he's their starter. So he gets the first 2 carries with the starters. Then the second team comes out. Guess who got the first carry with the second team? The second carry of the afternoon, of the morning. Guess.
Sermon.
No.
Hasty.
Yes. Kyle likes Hasty.
Yeah.
Hasty, then Sermon, then Hasty again. And then with the third team, Ty Davis Price, which is not a reflection of what they think of him. It's just sort of like the day one rookie kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then 7-on-7s, throw to Mitchell. Lance hits Mitchell. Sudfeld hits Mitchell. Onto the second page, only 2 pages. Lance hits use check. Mitchell stretched left with the first team. Second team, Sermon from the gun inside zone. Then we got Sudfeld throwing to Hasty on third down. Third team, you got Ty Davis Price, stretch right, fumbled it, fell on it. I don't want to nitpick too hard, but I saw it, Ty Davis Price. Then you got starters back, another toss to Mitchell. He was the starter today. Then with the second team, Ty Davis Price, stretch left. I thought he got 15 yards before anyone touched him. He looked good today, by the way. He runs really hard. Then with the third team, Jermichael Hasty. It was funny. I don't know. Jeff Wilson Jr. didn't get the ball today. I don't know what that was about. Something to monitor, but that's how it broke down. A lot of Sermon, a lot of Hasty, a lot of Ty Davis Price, and Mitchell as the unquestioned starter today.
Yeah, I think that's important too, because I think a lot of people, there's this narrative on Twitter that Mitchell is not really that good. And that a lot of his yards come from Shanahan drawing things up and scheming things up, and he doesn't get much above that. Also, I think that he's an underrated pass catcher. This is a guy who didn't drop a ball last year. I really thought going into the NFC Championship that the scheme really was going to be to get him and Debo an open space out of the backfield against those linebackers. Get some easy completions and move the chains that way. It never materialized, but I think he can catch the ball 50 plus times in a season. I really do. I think he's got good hands. I think he's a good route runner. And you said he caught a couple passes today. That's a very, very good thing to hear.
I actually think if you're going to throw a screen to a running back on this team, use check's a good option, but he's 31. I'd rather throw it to Mitchell.
Yeah.
I thought they didn't do that enough of that last year. I didn't think they threw to him enough. And what's interesting about him, he only played 11 games last year. He was the 8th leading rusher in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean,
it's crazy. He averaged, 4.7 yards per carry?
Yep.
That's really good. I mean, there's guys ahead of him like Ezekiel Elliott doesn't do that. I'd rather have Elijah Mitchell than Ezekiel Elliott. I'd rather have Elijah Mitchell than Antonio Gibson. I'd probably rather have Elijah Mitchell than Najee Harris. I mean, Najee Harris breaks a lot of tackles, but he's a plotter. Mitchell's faster. I don't know. I think my only question with Mitchell is he does a lot of his work from when the quarterback's under center. I know that wasn't the case in college, but the splits he had last year from under center to shotgun were stark. Maybe it'll be different with Trey Lance at quarterback because there's going to be a lot of shotgun stuff with Trey Lance at quarterback.
I'm just curious to see who doesn't make this team. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough decision at running back, a really tough decision. And if you're right and Shanahan does like Hasty that much, I mean, he's the third down back. So who are they getting rid of? I mean, this could be a surprising name or two. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Trey Sermon looks good. He looked slow last year. From what I saw on tape, he looked kind of big and slow and out of shape last year. He wasn't the guy I saw at Ohio State. This year, he looks more like the guy I saw at Ohio State. He looks like he's in really good shape. So they're invested in him. If he looks improved, they'll keep him. And maybe they'll feel like, you know what? Jeff Wilson Jr. is a little redundant. We have Mitchell, Ty Davis Price, and Trey Sermon. Jeff Wilson Jr. is nice, but he gets hurt and he's been hurt and he's a little less gifted. Who knows? Maybe that'll be the odd man out. He didn't practice today. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's very interesting.